Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you've had a good weekend. It's been quite interesting, especially on the Telegram group. So after so many discussions taking place, there's been a lot of progress, especially in enlightening the public, giving some enlightenment to the people who have just joined in, people have just started trading in these markets. And if you're part of that group, I'm sure you have benefited a lot from the activity that has been there. And if you're not part of that group, you can just search for Trading Dawn, which is the name of this program, or you can search for BVB Trade FX, and it will lead you to that group, and you will be part of the growing community. It's actually growing. It's growing so much right now, where there are so many people, and that is very good. So many people are just starting out to trade, and the good news behind that is, if you're just starting out here and you're on the group, or if you need some, if you need to be enlightened about these matters that affect the Forex market and all the other financial markets, then join the group so that when we're enough people, we're going to have some presentations that are going to bring all the people who have just started. They will bring these presentations will bring you up to speed. If you've never done any trading of Forex, if you look at the MetaTrader 4 platform and it looks like something strange, if you see people talking about the stock market, the CFDs, trading gold and all that. People keep talking about that. Today I'm buying gold. Yesterday I sold gold, I made money. Today I'm going to buy gold, and you hear such conversations taking place. And you want to be part of trading gold and all that. Just join the Telegram group. Gold. Yesterday I sold gold. There's so many. It will be very important to actually have a step-by-step. You want to kind of process that will enlighten everyone and bring everyone up to speed. So that in the future we shall be discussing very, very serious issues. Right now, before you start trading, we can't bring these issues on board because you have to first know what has to be done. You need to know the risks, you need to know the rewards, so that when we start having these very serious conversations, it will be, we shall have so many heads together that will be thinking in the same direction. So places like Wall Street, places in Tokyo, now German, London, these places grew because people were trading in their communities, every day sharing information about how to profit from the market. And when so many people gain not so much money individually, but when so many people are gaining money and they're bringing money into their countries, a lot of money collectively comes in, and that improves the lives of so many of us, our families, our friends, and other people. So as our community grows, when we start trading together and forming systems that are going to help us to profit, then we're going to be pulling a lot of money into the economy, and it will be useful for all of us and everyone who is connected to us. So that is one inevitable thing that will happen, and we just have to make it happen a little bit faster, because so many people are talking about the struggle here, the struggle there, and it's very true. Many people are struggling, and if we are all enlightened about things like trading Forex, without putting aside all the scams that have been taking place. There have been so many scams. People have lost money. You give someone a lot of money that has been saved. Not even small money, but these guys look for the big money. So you give a lot of that money to people to invest in Bitcoin, in whatever cryptocurrency is there. Also to invest in Forex trading and all other sorts of businesses that are there. And fine, they might not be scams most of the time. So we may just lose money because of the high risks, and also because of the profits that they promised you. So when someone promises you a very high profit, and then you invest the money, then in trying to pursue this profit, they get knocked out of the game. It might look like a scam, but the fact of the matter is the risks in trading are very high. The risks are very high, and the only thing that can counter these risks is knowledge and experience. So without knowledge and experience, that risk remains very, very high. The more knowledgeable you are, and the more experienced you are, the more risk you will face. If you go in with a lot of excitement and a lot of confidence, then that's a recipe for failure. So that's why we need to come up to speed and all have the same information, so that when we're having discussions on certain matters in the market, then we all have enough information within our minds to actually give some advice and to stop someone who is probably giving advice that is will probably lead to loss. Yeah, so basically, that is one inevitable goal of this of my social media platform, the Telegram group. If you're not part of that group, you can just search for BVB Trade FX, or you can search for Trading Dawn, and you will get there. So within this group, leaders will emerge, because there are people who are very good at trading, and there is no reason to hold someone down. If someone has a very powerful strategy, if someone has a leadership potential, then by all means, these people should rise and help where help is needed, so that we are all so that we all become very good at this. The better, the more leaders we have there, then the better, people should rise up and help others and improve the community. So that maybe next year, by mid next year, we shall have so many people with real accounts and real, and trading. All the signals that will come in on the group or elsewhere, they will be properly explained, instead of just seeing a signal that buy USD card, take profit this, stop loss this. Then you start telling people, I think you must be in profit by now. It's better to put in a signal with some kind of explanation that we are buying because price has hit the resistance, and the RSI has crossed from below an oversold position and it has gone above, and the moving averages have crossed. Whatever explanation you give, you even give a chart, and you pinpoint that moment where that has happened, so that someone who gets that signal, it's good to make a profit, but making a profit without gaining some knowledge is also, it's not very productive, because in the long run you will be addicted to these blind trades, these blind signals. So right now it's okay. Right now whatever is happening is all fine. But just try as much as possible to understand what is happening, and like I said, we're going to be having different sessions taking place on this group, so that everyone is very well equipped for the market. This market is it's not something, it's very volatile, it's not something simple to go against. So we have to be very well prepared. We must be knowledgeable. We must know what's happening in the world, so that we know which currencies are being affected and which stock markets are being affected, so that we make the best possible decisions when we trade. So I think let's take a look at some charts and see which charts are trending this week. Let's begin with Euro USD, obviously. So this chart, it has been very bearish. It has been very bearish. This is a 4-hour chart. And it was, non-farm payrolls was last week on Friday. Now that that's out of the way, people can now breathe. It has been, people have been suffocating because of non-farm payrolls. But good enough. That is over, and now it's business. We're now back to normal business. So I'm putting in the moving averages, the 20, they are both simple moving averages of period 20 and period 50, and this is a 4-hour chart. So what I'm looking for is probability of a reversal. So putting these averages, they haven't yet crossed. Then the Mark D looks like it's heading towards a cross up there. The relative strength index. So hopefully this time it's going to reverse. We've been waiting for a reversal for so long. for so long. It's now almost 2 months. Yeah, so what we have this divergence, looks picture perfect. We have those high bottoms and these low bottoms. So these ones are moving upwards, these ones are moving downwards. So we have divergence that has already taken place. Now what we are waiting for is the MACD to cross. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So this might cross upwards, and if the moving averages also cross, then we shall clearly have that that bullish trend starting to form technically. And looking at the 1 hour chart, so this one here, we already have this okay, the 1 hour chart, the divergence has actually, it has taken place. There was divergence, these bottoms moving downwards, these bottoms moving upwards. The MACD has crossed above, and now the moving averages have also crossed. So we have the long term below the short term, but that's in the 1 hour time frame, and we've been getting many false signals from this 1 hour time frame. So we have to take the one in the 4 hour chart to give us an actual signal. And if price breaks below this lowest point, then obviously we shall have a price continuing downwards, and that trend forming might be something we shall have to wait for another time. Yeah, so that's the Euro USD. So the Australian dollar versus the US dollar in the 4 hour time frame, it's clearly bullish. And so this one here, in its own way, a reversal took place there. We have I think now it is as clear as possible. So the reversal took place there. We have these bottoms going down, these bottoms going up. The MACD has clearly crossed very well into this area above zero, and the moving average is crossed there. So there is some kind of maybe the trend will be short term, maybe it will be long term, but it's still an upward trend. And where it is right now, it has just broken above the 50.0 mark in the 4 hour chart. So maybe it's headed up to the 61.8. That could be a very obvious point where this price will reach. Maybe just one tail will get up there, maybe, but it's about let me see, a minimum of about 15 pips to that 61.8, which is not bad. So that could be a good trade. If if you want to buy, you can do some other analysis there. If it works for you, you take it, but price is already above 50.0, meaning the momentum is a bit low. Technically, if momentum builds up, then it's not something really predictable. So the US dollar versus the CHF. Yeah, so divergence is normally something not common, but it's very common. It's very common if you look for it. These areas here of reversal. So we have these two bottoms moving downwards, these two bottoms moving upwards. The MACD has crossed below, and the averages have also crossed. So we could be having a downward trend starting to form there. Yeah, it's possible. And if we're to sell, maybe okay, so when price broke from this top, it reached the 38.2. so maybe if price is continued, if it's to continue downwards to this 38.2 from where price is right now, it's about 38 pips. But if price is to cross below this 38.2 and break that support, then we can trade another 35 pips to the 50.0. Yeah, which is so the most obvious thing to wait for is, okay, for the most obvious trade, what we should wait for is price breaking this support level at the 38.2. So when that happens, then it will be a good trade. This is GBP USD. This particular chart has punished so many people last week. And the predictability factor has been quite, it hasn't been as clear as expected. And yeah, it's not very predictable right now, but maybe for scalping, you can scalp here a little bit, but price is generally bearish, and as of last week, price broke this area of support, where this first bottom is, this second bottom is, and this third small bottom. So there is a strong support there that was broken last week, and it was broken. It was further than last week. It's a 4-hour chart. So it was broken sometime back, and it viciously broke it, and price is being resisted there right now. So for this chart to have some real predictable moves, maybe if you start buying from above this high point, this high point there, it's a bit far, but where we're not sure what's happening, you can be very sure of price movement if price breaks above this high point, and if price breaks below this low point, then you can have a clear sign to sell. So patience is everything. You can't trade all the time, but if you wait for those good moments to trade, then you'll definitely make some profit there. This is the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. It's still loading. Yeah, so this chart has been generally bullish. It has been generally bullish, and right now it is very, very there's that very high upward movement. So for a chart like this, here we just have to wait. Everything looks like it's it's really bullish. There's some serious price movement there, so it might be heading towards a point where the velocity drops. Let me try and get some previous points. Okay, this one has been climbing for quite some time. Okay, this one is not very predictable right now. Maybe if you scalp it, but there's this very high movement that is there right now. But anyway, let's not dwell so much on this one. Let's look for the charts that are very predictable, charts which we can actually get a trend from probably for this week. The US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Okay, so this one, we don't have divergence. We don't really have divergence here. We have these tops going down, even heavier tops going down, but we have what looks like a reversal. So normally, when your indicators are not giving you a proper sort of signal, these averages here, they look very, they don't look normal. That I've been looking on other charts. So you don't have to keep the same averages on one chart like all the other charts. You can just adjust them. So this one here, I can give it maybe a period of 100. So we have 50 and 100. Or I can make it maybe 150 to make it look a little bit, to make it have some sense. So with these averages, it starts now to, okay, that's why I keep saying you can't use the same strategy on one chart and use it on the other chart, because all the charts are different. You can look at these moving averages. So on the other charts, they looked normal, but here we've had to adjust them so that they make sense of the price movement. And that is something very important that you should keep at the back of your mind. Now this, we have a moving average cross there. We've had a fake cross there, another fake cross there, but here it looks it looks serious. So here I'll draw the Fibonacci from the, okay, you can draw it up to the top there, and yeah, price has seriously broken below all these levels, and now it is just below the 50.0. It's starting to, it could head up to this 61.8. So for the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, maybe a safe trade could be about 78 pips. Okay, about 70 pips minimum to that 61.8. Yeah, so I think that's the last chart for today. Yeah, so so this kind of analysis, it's purely technical. Throughout the weekend, we're talking about some other indicators. I normally don't use custom indicators here, but because of the conversations that we've been having on the group, I'm going to bring in some custom indicators, I think, tomorrow, because they have been talked about passionately, and I went online and bought these indicators and saw how they were working, and yeah, I think it is a valuable information. Like I always say, the ignorance is not the path of a Forex trader. Whatever information is out there, if it is useful, then by all means, we must study it and make it work for us. We cannot afford to be ignorant. So those indicators, I will show you how they work. Someone did a presentation about them over the weekend. I'll do another presentation. I think I'll do a presentation in the group. I'll do another presentation here, and we shall see. I'll share those indicators so that you use them. That presentation was done for binary options through the weekend, and it was said that those indicators are only in the binary options. But luckily enough, I have them on the MetaTrader platform. So if you're a MetaTrader trader, if you're a MetaTrader platform trader, then they'll be very useful for you. And all these tools are there to help us. So we must use them to, to make us as much profit as possible. We cannot afford to be ignorant. So anyone who has any advice on the group, if you have something that is really working for you, then you can present it, and we shall see how it's going to help everyone. So those indicators I talked about, like they were not on any other platform, but when you search for something, you'll always find it. So everyone who is doing binary options will benefit from them, and everyone who is trading on these MetaTrader platforms will also benefit from them, because they are available on all the platforms. So those are some of the benefits we're already getting on the group. It's quite, if it wasn't for the group, personally, I would have never known about them. So it's quite, it's quite good. If you're not part of the Telegram group, you can search for BVB Trade FX, so you can search for Trading Dawn, and you will get there. You will join the community, and you'll join in on the conversations, and you'll benefit in so many ways. So I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.